It is the Flow Friday Night Sports Show. Eyre Peninsula Netball is where we're heading next. Great Flinders, Eastern Eyre, getting towards the business end of all competitions now, and Great Flinders had some really interesting results over the weekend. Joe Franklin joins me on the line. Joe, how are you?
I'm doing really well, Jace, and sounds like you are too.
Up and about, yes. There's plenty happening at the moment. We'll get to Pedlar Cup in a moment. Of course, no games to preview for this week, but plenty of games to review. And we had a ripper in the A-grade clash between Elliston Districts and Lock Great Flinders Netball last week. These two neighbours, so to speak, put on a show, and Elliston Districts snuck home in the end.
Yeah, they did. They won 50 to Lock 45. Now, it was actually a shootout. Like both goalie combinations played well. They were quite accurate when they got the ball, but there was a fair bit of turnover through the midcourt, and you can imagine how tight the midcourt would have been. I can tell you, with the players from both sides, it was extremely tight. Nobody was giving an inch, and both sides have extremely strong defence units at the moment as well. So certainly Lisa and Jordan Sladden had their time cut out. Nikki Schubert and Kelsey Hull really kept them very honest and working really hard for the whole game. And in the end, that bit of extra pressure and just the fact that they've got that little bit more experience playing together was what actually got Elliston Districts over the line. But yeah, a great game evidently to watch. It was a real spectators game, and everybody sort of thought, yes, there's definitely no definites. There's definitely no definites about who is going to finish in that top four, because Lock is certainly coming together at the right end of the season.
Well, they are. Now, here's an interesting game we have to talk about. So we had the battle for the wooden spoon at Cummins, but there's a bit more to it than that. So Ramblers took on United Yolanda, Yolanda winning 57-31. So you would think now that bottom place will belong to Ramblers, so by losing they win the spoon, if that makes any sense. But United Yolanda, with Lock having lost, believe it or not, can still make the finals. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It absolutely is ridiculous. And look, at quite a high-scoring game too for the two bottom sides at the moment. 57 goals. United Yolanda were pretty happy with that. Ramblers 31, considering what they've been shooting in the last few weeks. Wasn't too. And it was their 75th anniversary weekend, and so a little bit disappointing that they didn't get a win in that game. But look, they played in the good old box pleat uniforms, and they really looked the part. They had great celebrations regardless of the actual scoreline. But look, United Yolanda just absolutely dominated the first half. The second half, Ramblers were able to pull it together a little bit better. They brought Katie Harsman around to wing defence, put Kelly Simons into goal defence, and Paige Darts back to keeper. And it just seemed to settle a little bit down that end, and they were able to take a few turnovers. They were able to get the ball through the centre court and into Kira Simons had her first game back after her horrific ankle injury from last year. And she teamed up with Abby Darlitz in there, and they were just able to steady the ship a little bit towards the end and make it a much more interesting last quarter for the spectators, some of them who had travelled quite a long way. So, Kira said they're building, but United Atlanta just got off to a fantastic first half, and Ramblers were chasing for the rest of the game. But all in all, as you said, that actually means that United Atlanta actually aren't out of the chances of making the Final Four if Lock happened to fall in a heap, which I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know.
You wouldn't think so, but stranger things have happened. They win the game, they get off the bottom of the ladder, they climb a couple of spots on the ladder, and they eye off fourth spot. So all in all, and the old box plate uniforms, I had to ask you about this. Did they wear the old tie-on bibs for the Ramblers girls?
Actually, no, they didn't, but they did wear the shoulder ones.
Yeah, okay.
They did.
Remember the old lace-up bibs? Yeah.
I do.
I'll tell you what, any Rambler who's disappointed with the result at the moment in their club being where it is at the bottom of the ladder just needs to go to the sock drawer, open it up, and count how many medals are inside. I think there's quite a few over the years. Ramblers have done okay.
Yeah, they have. They certainly have, and it is a rebuilding. And look, those girls that are fronting up to training every week and are fronting up to Saturday games every week are giving it their all, and that's all Kira can ask.
Exactly right. So, last match of the round was the derby there at Tumby Bay on the eastern side. So they took on Eyre United, beat them comfortably 50-24. So. Pretty much regular programming there. I think Tumby have beaten Eyre United 3 times already this year.
Yeah, look, Tumby are just really putting the foot down now. They are really building towards the finals. There's no question about that. But Eyre United, Brooke, a little bit disappointed with only 24 goals. Just sort of, she said she thought that they were actually building to something much bigger and better than that. But unfortunately, Tumby were able to just really put the foot down when it counted, and they're actually running different combinations, and all of them are working. So, Stacey's got those girls working really well at the moment. Having to go back to the drawing board a little bit, and it is the case with young ones. Sometimes they're hot and they're really good, and other times they're just not quite so hot. Still plenty to work with there. There's no question about that. They're certainly not writing anything off, but it was a tough day at the office for them, that was for sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to Eastern Eyre. We'll come back to Pedlar Cup because there's no games to preview. Yep. We'll come back to Pedlar Cup and do that as a whole. Eastern Eyre in the A grade there, Ports and Cow. It was Cow winning over Ports again, 37-30. So another sports show cup going to Joe Franklin.
Yeah, it was. It was. And look, unfortunately for Ports, poor Chloe. Chloe Waite's the coach there, and she's just struggling to get everybody on court at the same time, and even to training. It's been a really tough time for her. And even on Saturday, she only had 6 of her team that were there, and she obviously had to, bring in another one. And then at just a couple of minutes into the last quarter, Tish Masters had to come off. She did her ankle. Up at 3/4 time, it was even. So they were, pretty happy with that. But then, after that, it just, Cow were able to take full advantage of the fact that Tish had to come off, and their goalers were able to actually really start combining quite well together. And the centre quarters were able to find their goalers with a little bit more ease. And, they were able to push away to end up winning by the 7 goals. But all in all, one of the best, Cow is certainly building. They were quite happy with the effort that they put in. I think they were still 1 down, actually. But, one of their players 7 down. COVID is still wreaking havoc over this way, Jason, I'm afraid. All in all, Cow very happy with their performance to get that win. And for Ports, they just really want to get their full team on the court at the same time so that they can just see what they really could do.
Well, let's hope that can happen before the end of the year. We've got to finish off by having a look at Central Eyre and the Eastern Rangers. Now, I won't say it's a changing of the guard, but this is a watershed moment for Central Eyre United. They get to the final minute of the A grade, and so far on the day, 3 wins, 3 losses, and scores are level in the A grade. They finally sneak home.
They did by a goal. A very interesting game. So Eastern Rangers, Kel's making no excuses whatsoever. She said, Central Eyre United, they just wanted it more in the last quarter, but they were without Erin Roberts, COVID. So that did affect their defence line, having to restructure their defence line. So that sort of, did happen, but at the same time, Kel said Central Eyre United just they really wanted it more. So Eastern Rangers were down by 2 at quarter time, down by 4 at half time, got up by 5 at 3/4 time, and then ended up losing by 1. So it was sort of like the changing of the score quite regularly, really. And Central Eyre United just in the last few minutes were putting so much pressure over the ball that the Rangers girls were throwing it straight into the Storm's hands, and Storm were creating the turnovers, and eventually they got the one turnover that they really needed right at the end, and they got over the line by a goal. And certainly both these sides will be looking forward to the next game that they play, and Central United will be sort of hoping that they can really build on that and to get the momentum running into the finals. I have no doubt, but. Very interesting.
It is, and we might actually see which will breathe some life into this comp too, because for so long it's been all about two, the Eastern Rangers and Kimber. Threes are sometimes a crowd, they say. Well, I reckon in this case, three's company, because I think Eastern Rangers and Kimber would appreciate a third wheel just to have an extra rivalry in there.
Oh, absolutely. Just that extra game that you have to really, really, not that any games are necessarily easy, but, just that, just another game in there where you really, really have to concentrate for the four quarters. And look, it's really throwing the cat amongst the pigeons. There's no question about that whatsoever. And I'll be very interested to see if Central United can have their full side against Kimber. It will be the next time. I think that will be very interesting.
Will be. Looking forward to that. But this weekend, let's talk Pedlar Cup. Now, who's doing the hosting?
Port Lincoln are. So El Presidente has been flat strap, and we're hoping that we have put together, because it's the 60th anniversary of the Pedlar Cup, and in the 61st year, because it's actually 61 years since it started, but of course in 2020 it was cancelled because of COVID. So we're hosting the 60th anniversary, and so we're very excited about that, and we're honoured to be doing that. And the Pedlar family are certainly all going to be around throughout the day, and through opening ceremonies and through the presentations at the end of the day. So we've got lots of stuff happening, and really looking forward to it, and hoping that the weather holds out for us. Jace, would be really good, but it's certainly a big day, and it's happening at Ravendale at the Ravendale Sporting Complex. Footy is going to be out there as well, so we've accommodated all of that. Not, as you would know, the easiest thing working with the Ravendale board. However, we have been able to, Quinn Dusky, he has just done an amazing job with the football, from Football League point of view, working in with us and trying to work in with the Ravendale crew. And, we're looking forward to a really big day. And, as you know, Pedlar Cup is a Division 1. The Pedlar Shield is a Division 2, and we have 5 associations competing. We have obviously Port Lincoln as the host. Whyalla are travelling down. They're still getting involved, which is fantastic. Western Eyre, Eastern Eyre and Great Flinders. So, we're looking forward to a great day. And look, both Eastern Eyre and Great Flinders have certainly come up with some very good-looking sides. So Great Flinders have in their Div 1, interesting how many mums, how many daughters of mums who have played previously. And we've actually come up with a 60th anniversary T-shirt for the purchasing by the players and anybody else who wants to. And it was really interesting because a couple of the coaches who are coaching sides this year, Sharon Felders for starters, has played in a winning Pedlar Cup. She's now coaching a Pedlar Cup Div 2 team, and her daughter is playing in a team for Great Flinders. So very interesting bits of history happening on Saturday as well, Jay. So and Sadie happens to be one of those, because obviously Stacey played when she was in 15s, but they've got Sadie Curtis, Claire Daniel, Missy Dowdle, Bria Feltus, Maya Glover, Riley Modra, Matilda Nettle, Del Shepherd and Lily Tiller, and Justine Stokes is coaching that side for Great Flinders, and they did very well at Country Champs, so they will be looking to back that up at the Pedlar Cup for sure. And the Div 1s for Eastern Eyre, Charlie Arcus, Lenny Richardson, who is Kelly Preddy's daughter, so another daughter, Rebecca Sampson, Scarlett Hunt, Sophie Flavel, Ava Jenner, Carly Zabel, and Gabrielle Tahini. Now, Carl Isabel, her mum is coaching. Ellen Isabel is coaching. She played as well back in the day. Gabrielle Tahini is Deb North's daughter. So, yeah, lots of mum, daughters and all those things, all that history is happening. It's quite exciting for me as well to see that I've actually, was around when their mums played. Anyway, that's how old we are, Jay. And look, and the really good give too. So certainly looking at trying to win that again. They won up at Lock, so they'll be looking to follow that up with their Pedlar Shield. So they've got Miley Agars, Brianna Amesbury, Charmaine Crosby, Mia Curtis, Georgia Kay, Adela Larwood, Amity Nicken, and of course Jodie would have played, Chelsea Wilch and Lucy Wilch, and their coaches Sharon Feltus. And with the Eastern Air side, in their Div 2, we've got Macy Hartwig, Charlotte Ramsey, Isabel Redden, her mum. There's just so many. Katie Joseph, Stella Quinn, Ali Jericho, Elka Hartwig, and Lily Hutchins. So, and their coach is Susie Boylan, who has also been around just about as long as me.
Well,
so some really good looking sides there. And our Lincoln sides, Chase, are looking pretty good because our 15 Div 1s won at Lock, so they'll be looking at backing that up for sure. And our Div 2s won the Spencer Golf Carnival, so they'll be looking at performing just as well at Pedlar Shield as well. So massive. I'm about to, or Friday all day we will be at the courts, and then again all day Saturday. Have been there nearly every day for the last 2 weeks, so we're ready. Just want it to happen.
It's an incredible logistical feat to get this carnival going, and I've always said when it comes to Pedlar Cup that it has over many years, and I have to be careful how we say this because I've been into trouble in the past, but it takes care of restocking the Eyre Peninsula, the Pedlar Cup. This is where many a husband and wife have first met at Pedlar Cup.
I'm glad you said that and not me, but look, it is huge. It's a fantastic day for all of Eyre Peninsula to come together and rekindle friendships and start friendships and all those sorts. It's fantastic. And one thing I will really do want to say is that Dennis Pedlar has been absolutely amazing help this year, setting up obviously for the 60th anniversary a big memorabilia, lots of photos that are going to be on a photo show. He's donated some money towards some subby holders as well for us to have, for people to take home as a momentum. So, he has just been a massive help to me and the committee. So a big thank you to him. But, just to the whole Pedlar family for continuing to support the vision that Nita and Colleen have had years and years and years ago is fantastic, and we certainly appreciate all their support, that's for sure.
All right. Good way to leave it there. Joe Franklin, great chatting with you. Good luck for the hosting duties. Look forward to catching you next week to find out who the winners are and how it all went.
No worries. Thanks, Chase. You take care.